Hey guys, I'm Exodia, and today we're going to be making a new tutorial in our Roblox Scripting Advanced Tutorial series. Today we're going to be going over the basics of using raycasting. Now raycasting can do many things, such as making projectile-based weapons. You can raycast to get the distance between objects, and many other things. It's a very vastly useful tool for your games, and you could use it for many different things. So to get started, we can make a new part and size it to 4 on each axis, anchor it, and we'll call it Raycast Part. We'll just set it right there. And then we will make a server script and call it Raycast Tutorial. So there are a few things we need to do before getting started. We need to set an origin point. In this case, I'm going to do an origin part, and I'll set that equal to the workspace colon find first child, and we're going to get that part that we just created. And then we need a raycast direction, so local ray direction, and we'll set that equal to vector3.new 0. In fact, we'll do origin part dot position minus vector3.new 0, 25, 0. And the next thing we need to do for raycasting is define some raycast params. So local raycast params equals raycast params dot new. And so so we could do raycast params dot, and there are 4 different parameters for our raycast. We have the collision group, which if you have a custom collision group that you want to set this to, you could do so here. Or you have filter descendants instances, which will it's a table of the objects that we want to filter. The filter type, which is a blacklist or whitelist. Whitelist being stuff that we want to include to get hit, and blacklist being stuff that we want the ray to ignore. Then ignore water, pretty self-explanatory. If you put water into your game using the terrain tool or other methods, then using ignore water can allow the ray to ignore that said water. In this case, we'll only focus on filter descendants instances and filter type. So we'll set filter descendants instances to a table of just our origin part, and then we'll set the filter type. We'll set the filter type to enum.raycastFilterType.blacklist. And then now we can make a variable for local raycast result. And we'll set that equal to workspace colon raycast. And there are a few parameters you need to know for raycasting, which is our vector3 origin, which we defined here as our part. We could just get the position of that. Our ray direction we define, and then our raycast params that we just created. So we'll do that as so origin part dot position, ray direction, and our raycast params. And something that we could do with the raycast result is it'll return an object that the ray hits, the first object that is hit by it. So we'll do if raycast result, then local hit object equals raycast result dot instance. This will return the object that is being hit by the raycast, and then we can print that hit object. And so if we go to test that, as you can see, the base plate gets hit, and it'll keep getting hit. We can move it up a bit. If we run this, hits the base plate again, it's not until it'll get out of range that it'll return us a nil value, because the ray doesn't actually hit anything. In fact, it doesn't return anything at all, therefore there isn't even a raycast result. So that's everything that we need to know for the basics on the server side of things. We can also use raycasting to cast a ray from a part to the mouse's direction on the client. So we could just delete this script and then go into starter player and clicking this plus sign or plus button on starter player scripts and create a brand new local script. And we'll also call this Raycast tutorial. And so we'll define the origin part as that same part we used on the server, so our Raycast part. And then we'll also get a variable for the player, which equals game.players.localPlayer. We'll set a variable for their mouse, which equals player:getMouse, open close parentheses. And then we don't need to, actually, yeah, we do. The ray direction that we'll set is local ray direction equals mouse.hit.position. Now keep in mind, if you're using this and you click on something like the skybox, this will return a nil value, so we will not have a ray direction if our mouse is over the skybox. And then what we'll do is define our Raycast params like usual. So local Raycast params equals Raycast params.new. We'll do the same thing. Raycast params.filter descendants instances equals a table of the origin part. And then Raycast params.filter type equals enum.raycast filter type blacklist. And then now, instead of just defining our Raycast result right there, we're going to bind this to a mouse.button1down event. And what button1 down does is it's an event that'll trigger every time we left click on the mouse. So here, when we left click, we'll set a new Raycast result variable equal to workspace : Raycast. In fact, before doing so, we'll check if ray direction does not equal nil, then we'll set a Raycast result. So local Raycast result equals workspace : Raycast, origin part.position, ray direction, and then our Raycast params. Now let's, okay, we also gotta check to see if we got a Raycast result. So if Raycast result, then local hit object equals Raycast result dot instance, and then we'll print the instance or the hit object. And before doing so, we'll also make a few parts so that we have some things that we can test on. So yeah, now we'll test this out. And so if we click here, nothing happens. But if we click on the base plate, nothing also happens. To fix that, we can do is go into our view, and there is the object browser. And what this allows you to do is view all the objects that you can insert into your game. We're just going to go all the way down to the mouse. And this is a really handy tool because we could check all the events and stuff that are inside of it. So button1 down is an event that is working. I wonder if our ray direction is nil, and I know why. We'll set the ray direction after clicking the mouse, because otherwise it's going to be nil. So we'll just set ray direction to a nil value for now, and then we'll test this. So you can see nothing will happen when we click in the skybox, but if we click the base plate, we still get nothing. No, never mind. So I think what's happening here is, whoops. What's happening here is the ray must be hitting our part that we made. In fact, no, it's hitting these parts when we click on them. It just must not be reaching the base plate, probably due to the fact that it's not low enough to hit it. So it's just hitting the parts. But as you can see, it works. And you could actually use this to make like a hit scan weapon. For example, if you want to make like a simple a gun, for example, if you're trying to make a game like Arsenal, then you might want to make raycast weapons. But yeah, this is a simple introduction to raycasting and how you could use it to raycast from objects to a given direction, as well as to the direction of your mouse, which will only work on the client side of things. So yeah, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as I try to post at least one video a week. Maybe we'll bump that up to 3, who knows, but definitely always at least one video a week. Also like the video if you found it helpful, and yeah, also don't forget to leave a comment with any criticism over the video, or over what you think I could do better, or if you have any confusion over any topics in the video. So yeah, that's it for today. Yeah, see ya.